Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling completely drained, as if every word you said had been twisted, turned against you, and used as ammunition? Have you ever felt like no matter how much you try to explain yourself, the person in front of you just doesn't seem to listen? Or worse, they pretend to listen, only to manipulate your words later. If you've ever dealt with a narcissist, you already know that arguing with them is like fighting quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. But what if I told you that the best way to win is not to fight at all? Narcissists thrive on chaos. They crave attention, control, and the satisfaction of watching you unravel. They will pull you into a battle of words, distort reality, and push you to defend yourself over and over until you start questioning your own sanity. That's why Proverbs 26:4 warns us, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him." The moment you engage in their game, you're already losing. But here's the good news. You don't have to play. There is a way to break free, reclaim your peace, and step into the power God has given you. In today's message, I'm going to show you exactly what to do instead. Whether the narcissist in your life is a partner, a parent, a coworker, or even a close friend, these principles will help you navigate the relationship without losing yourself in the process. And the first step? Understanding that you are not alone in this battle. God has already equipped you with everything you need to rise above manipulation and deception. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. The enemy may try to confuse you, exhaust you, and break your spirit, but you are not called to live in bondage to someone else's dysfunction. You are called to be free. So take a moment and do these 3 things. Hit the subscribe button to help spread God's word, click the like button as an act of faith, and leave the number 8 in the comments. This number is more than just a symbol. It represents renewal, rebirth, and a fresh beginning in God's divine plan. The number 8 signifies new beginnings. After 7 days of the week, the 8th day starts a brand new cycle. In the Bible, circumcision was performed on the 8th day, marking a new covenant between God and his people. By leaving the number 8, you are declaring your readiness to step into a new chapter of blessings and renewal in your walk with God. Stay until the very end. If you feel drawn to this message, it's a sign that God is preparing something new for you. Watching the video to the end is not just an action, it's a testimony of your faith and your willingness to embrace the fresh start he has in store for you. Let the number 8 in the comments be your proclamation of faith and your commitment to a new beginning in God's perfect plan. Your transformation starts now. One of the hardest truths to accept is that a narcissist will never change. No matter how much you explain, reason, or even pray for them to see the damage they cause, they remain trapped in their own self-serving world. Why? Because narcissism is not just a bad habit, it's a deeply ingrained pattern of thinking that distorts reality to fit their desires. They do not see themselves as the problem, which means they have no motivation to change. A scoffer does not listen to rebuke. Proverbs 13:1. You could spend years trying to make them understand your pain, only to realize that they were never truly listening. One of the greatest deceptions we fall into is thinking that love, patience, or sacrifice will somehow transform them. You may have thought, if I love them enough, they'll change. Or maybe if I explain it differently, they'll finally understand. But every time you believe this, you set yourself up for disappointment. A narcissist does not respond to love the way a healthy person does. They see love as an opportunity to manipulate. They see forgiveness as a reset button to continue their abuse. They see your patience as weakness. That's why C.S. Lewis said, "You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending." The moment you accept a narcissist as they are, without expecting them to change, you take back your power. This doesn't mean you approve of their behavior. It means you stop hoping for a different outcome. When you truly embrace this reality, you can finally focus on what you can control, your own healing, your own boundaries, and your own peace. The truth will set you free. John 8:32. And the truth is this: they will never change, but you can. A narcissist's words and actions are not a reflection of you. They are a reflection of them. This is one of the most powerful truths you need to internalize. Whether they are praising you or tearing you down, neither is about you. It's about what serves them in the moment. They will compliment you when it benefits them. They will criticize you when it gives them control. Their words are not rooted in truth, but in manipulation. That's why you must learn not to take anything personally. Jesus himself warned us about people like this. Woe to you when all people speak well of you, for so their fathers did to the false prophets. Luke 6:26. Narcissists are experts at flattery when they need something from you, but just as quickly as they build you up, they will tear you down. One moment they love you, the next they discard you. If you base your worth on their opinions, you will be on an emotional roller coaster, one that always ends in devastation. Think about this. If someone you don't respect insults you, would you take it to heart? Probably not. The same principle applies to narcissists. Their words hold no real weight unless you give them power. That's why Proverbs 4:23 tells us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." The moment you stop taking their words personally, you strip them of their ability to control your emotions. C.S. Lewis put it perfectly. Don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. And that includes the ever-changing opinions of a narcissist. Your value does not come from their validation or rejection. It comes from God. When you anchor yourself in His truth, their words lose all power over you. Narcissists do not respect boundaries. To them, limits are just obstacles to overcome, challenges to manipulate, or rules to break. That's why setting boundaries is not about getting them to change, it's about protecting yourself. The Bible warns us about people who refuse to respect others. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn to attack you. Matthew 7:6. When you set a boundary with a narcissist, they will test it, push it, and try to guilt you into removing it. But stand firm. Boundaries are not about controlling them. They are about taking control of your own life. A narcissist may react to your boundaries with anger, manipulation, or even threats. They will say things like, "You're overreacting," or "You're the problem, not me." They may try to gaslight you into believing that protecting yourself is wrong. But remember this. A boundary is not up for discussion. It is not a debate. It is a statement. It is a declaration of self-respect. And if they refuse to respect it, you must be prepared to enforce consequences. One woman I worked with had a narcissistic family member who secretly opened credit cards in her name and racked up thousands in debt. She kept trying to reason with him, to explain why this was wrong, hoping he would stop. He never did. It wasn't until she legally protected herself, freezing her credit, setting financial boundaries, and cutting off access, that the damage stopped. This is what boundaries look like in action. They may not change the narcissist's behavior, but they will protect you from harm. C.S. Lewis wisely said, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." The same applies to boundaries. It is never too late to reclaim your peace. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 27:12. Guard your heart, guard your mind, guard your life. Because if you don't, a narcissist will take everything you allow them to. A narcissist is a master of words. They know exactly what to say to make you believe they've changed, to pull you back in and to keep you hoping. They will make promises they never intend to keep, offer apologies that mean nothing, and tell you exactly what you want to hear. But words mean nothing without action. That's why you must believe behavior, not words. Jesus himself warned us about this kind of deception. By their fruits you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Matthew 7:16. If someone's actions repeatedly contradict their words, trust the actions. If they say they love you but continue to disrespect you, trust the actions. If they promise to change but always return to the same destructive behaviors, trust the actions. Narcissists rely on words to manipulate because words cost them nothing. But real change requires effort, and effort is something they rarely invest. I once knew someone who was in a relationship with a narcissist. Every time she tried to leave, he would beg her to stay, swearing he would change. He even cried to make it seem real. But his actions? The same lies, the same manipulation, the same emotional abuse. It took her years to finally see the pattern. His words were empty, but his actions told the truth. C.S. Lewis put it this way: crying is all right in its way while it lasts, but you have to stop sooner or later, and then you still have to decide what to do. Narcissists will say anything in the moment to get what they want, but once the moment passes, they do not change. Proverbs 26:11 gives us a stark reminder. As a dog returns to its vomit, so fools repeat their folly. No matter how many chances you give them, they will always go back to who they are. So stop believing words and start believing behavior. Your peace, your sanity, and your future depend on it. One of the biggest traps in dealing with a narcissist is seeking their validation. You want them to acknowledge your pain, to see your worth, to understand how much they've hurt you. But they won't. A narcissist lacks empathy, and as long as you seek their approval, you will always be disappointed. That's why you must learn to validate your own needs instead of looking to them for recognition. When you're in a relationship, whether it's romantic, familial, or professional, you naturally want to be heard. But narcissists do not listen. They dismiss your emotions, belittle your struggles, and twist your words until you start questioning yourself. If you keep waiting for them to recognize your worth, you will stay stuck in an endless cycle of frustration and self-doubt. The Bible warns us about this. Do not put your trust in princes, in human beings who cannot save. Psalm 146:3. A narcissist will never be the source of your healing. Only God can fill that space. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less." Validating your own needs does not mean becoming selfish. It means recognizing that your emotions, your boundaries, and your well-being matter. You do not need a narcissist to approve of your feelings for them to be valid. Instead of looking to them, turn to God. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who truly see you, and who value your heart. Your worth is not defined by how a narcissist treats you. It is defined by God, and He says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139:14. So stop waiting for validation from the wrong source. You already have it in Him. The most important thing you need to realize about dealing with a narcissist is that you are not powerless. The enemy wants you to believe that you are trapped, that you have no choice but to endure their manipulation and emotional games. But that is a lie. God has already given you the tools to break free. He has given you wisdom, discernment, and the ability to set boundaries that protect your heart and mind. The Bible reminds us in John 8:32, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The truth is this: you cannot change a narcissist, you cannot reason with them, and you cannot seek validation from them. But what you can do is reclaim your peace. The moment you stop engaging in their games, the moment you stop hoping for their approval, you take back your power. There is a reason Jesus Himself walked away from toxic people. He never begged the Pharisees to understand Him. He never wasted time arguing with those who had already hardened their hearts. Instead, He spoke the truth and moved on. Matthew 10:14 says, "If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet." Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is walk away. That doesn't always mean physically leaving. Sometimes walking away means emotionally detaching. It means refusing to give a narcissist control over your emotions. It means no longer explaining yourself, no longer defending yourself, and no longer expecting them to suddenly change. When you embrace that mindset, you step into the freedom God has called you to. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Getting over a painful experience is much like crossing monkey bars. You have to let go at some point in order to move forward." Holding on to a toxic relationship, hoping for change that will never come, only keeps you stuck. But when you let go, when you stop seeking love in a place where it does not exist, you make room for real healing, real joy, and real peace. Proverbs 4:23 tells us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guarding your heart means choosing your battles wisely. Not every argument is worth your energy. Not every relationship is meant to be saved. God is calling you to something greater than living in a cycle of confusion and pain. He is calling you to live in peace. So now I invite you to take a step of faith. Hit the subscribe button to help spread God's word. Click the like button as an act of faith. And most importantly, leave the number 8 in the comments. This number represents new beginnings, a divine sign that you are stepping into a fresh season of healing, strength, and renewal. After 7 days, the 8th day begins a brand new cycle. In the Bible, circumcision, the sign of God's covenant, was performed on the 8th day, marking a new beginning for his people. By leaving the number 8, you are declaring that you are ready to step into the freedom and peace that God has in store for you. Stay until the very end. If you are still here, it means this message was meant for you. It is not a coincidence. You were led here for a reason. God is preparing something new for you, and your healing starts now. Leave the past behind. Step into your transformation begins today.